I'd like to call a meeting to order, the East Brandywine Township Board of Supervisors, the AM Thursday meeting, November 2nd, 2023. I want to remind everybody, a recording device will be in use during the meeting. Let's open the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public comment or agenda items. Rules for conduct of public meetings established by Resolution 2001-08 state that the time allocated to each individual making a comment shall be 3 minutes unless otherwise set by the presiding officer. Additional public comment may be granted at the discretion of the presiding officer at the conclusion of the meeting. I'm going to stick to the 3 minutes of comment. Is there any public comment? All right, seeing none, I'll move on to item number 3, minutes of previous meetings. We have both the AM and the PM minutes in here. Are there any changes?
No changes. I make a motion to approve both the AM and the PM session meetings for 10/19 and 10/5/2023.
Second? I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Authorization to pay bills and approve payroll. I've reviewed the bills. I'll make a motion to approve the payment of the bills and pay the payroll.
I'll second.
Discussion? All those in favor? Say
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? See, there is no old business, so we will move into the new business. Brandywine Walk Financial Security Release. Mr. Revin.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. In your packet this morning is a letter from Pannoni, Township Engineer, reviewing a request for an escrow release for the development Brandywine Walk. This is the first such financial security release. Pannoni is recommending a release. The recommended amount is $753,004.53. So at this time, I would respectfully ask the Board of Supervisors to authorize staff to process the escrow release based on the Township Engineer's recommendation.
This is a stage development, right? So this is stage 1?
Right, there are 3 phases,
I should
correct.
say. I said stage. All right, there's three altogether.
And the total financial security for Phase 1 was $3,829,355.68. And this is the first release.
Okay. And there's how many phases altogether? 3?
3, I believe.
Thank you.
And if I just may, keep in mind that they've posted a bond to secure these improvements. So if they want to reduce the amount of the bond, they have to get their company to issue a new bond, and then we'll get back the bond that they posted. I don't know what their intention is.
Right,
Typically, in a
they
letter of
didn't
credit-
use a traditional letter of credit then.
Right, typically when there's a letter of credit, we just authorize the bank to reduce the amount, but that's not the case here. It's a little more complicated.
All right, any other discussion? I'll make a motion that we release $753,004.53 for Phase 1 Brandywine Walk.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. Next we have is the draft 2024 budget presentation from the Budget Committee. Gentlemen?
Good morning, members of the board. I'm Alan Yufko, the Vice Chair of the Budget Committee, and this is Ben Dilks, the Chair of the committee, and also Matt Anthony in back of us, an additional member of the committee. So we're pleased to come to you today and present the draft balanced 2024 budget proposal for your review and consideration. Could you go to the next, or I guess I can go to the slide. So first I'd like to acknowledge and thank the various folks involved in putting this draft presentation and budget together. So the Budget Committee, as we mentioned, are here. Also the staff, Luke and Emily specifically had many hours of behind-the-scenes homework and research that we assigned to them to come back and provide to us. Also, Mr. Croft, the Board Supervisor liaison, provided his tremendous guidance and financial expertise. Department heads, including Public Works and the police, provided tremendous insight and recommendations to their particular department expenses and revenue. And also other East Brandywine committee members, such as Bonsville Mill and Historical Society, presented their proposals, and also third-party organizations such as the ambulance company and the fire company. So we're going to give you a few highlights, and again, you have all the details for your review after the meeting. So on the revenue side of it, we're pleased to propose no change to the real estate tax millage, no change to the earned income tax rate, no change to the fire services fee rate. On the refuge collection service fee, we are recommending an increase from $170 to $200 per year per household. And also on the recycling collection service fee, we are recommending an increase from $90 to $100 per year per household. And primarily the reasons there are that the tipping fees from the hauler have increased, and also on the recycling side, where there used to be a revenue generator. Now we're actually paying fees to have the hauler take away our recycling materials. So that's a change in the model there. On the expense side, for the administration, there's no change in the current staffing level. We are recommending a 3% cost of living increases, which will mirror what we're proposing on the police side of it. Under the police side, again, no change in current staffing levels, and we're going to have an average 3% cost of living increase per the union contract. On the public works side, we are proposing one additional staff member be added. This was proposed a year ago and is yet to be fulfilled. And for their salary increases, we did take a salary benchmark survey of the various job descriptions for public works employees across the county, and we came back with the findings that we're really our staff is really underpaid compared to many of the local townships. So we're recommending a 5% increase to help gain some alignment in that area. For Bonsville Mill specifically, the maintenance and development type expenses, we're recommending what was proposed, which is $27,900. We're also recommending what was proposed for events and marketing of $3,500. The committee, the Bonsville Mill Committee, presented several options relating to next steps on the renovation or rehabilitation of the remaining structures. Gave us a lot of different cost options to consider. We had a number of meetings with them, and based on our capital reserve situation across the township, what we are recommending is $35,000 for building rehabilitation. Township staff and Mr. Croft also recommended that we dig a little deeper here and we provide further guidance as to how those funds should be spent. And so the guidance that we provided here for your consideration is to proceed with building A interior work, which is just about done. Proceed with completion of building A and C exterior work, but not interior work. One proposal from their committee had us building a roof over building B, and we're recommending that work not be done at this point in time. The committee also recommended some additional interior work on building C. We're recommending that work not proceed at this time. And the committee also recommended in building C on the outside to build a deck and a north exterior door for entrance into building C. We're recommending that not proceed at this point in time. We're also giving the guidance that if there are excess funds from the $35,000 proposed, that the next step would be to really proceed with exterior work on buildings D and E. I must mention that the Bonsall Mill Committee will most likely have an intent to come back to the board in future months and give further information around this and ask you to reconsider some of the other options and the guidance that we're providing today. And lastly, other items, the budget committee, in addition to the staff, are recommending for this budget and future budgets that we start to really look at allocating a set amount to be budgeted for police and public works. And so we started that model this year. It's incorporated within the draft budget, and we hope to continue that going forward to be a steady state approximate amount going forward. And two items just on the radar, not part of the budget, but are upcoming for this upcoming year, is we have a new waste recycling hauler contract. The current one expires on 12/31/2024. So negotiations and bids will start in earnest in the near future. It's unpredicted as to what that impact would be on future rates for the township. And the last one is also the current uniform police contract expires on 12/31/24 as well, so negotiations will start in that area as well. So what that future impact will be on our budget and cost structure is uncertain at this time. So any questions?
I don't have any questions per se, but I do want to thank every one of you guys, including the members that aren't here. This is a long process. People think it starts last month. It didn't. It starts months in advance, and it takes forever to get to where we end up today. So I just wanted to thank every one of you guys and your team for helping out with that. Volunteering, by the way.
Much appreciated.
Same goes for me. I did miss one meeting, but there's at least 12 meetings on the budget, and we started meeting as early as, I think it was January.
Yeah, it really started with laying out over a number of months what the new proposed structure would look like, we came up with a standard template for what we would like department heads to fill out and provide to us. And then throughout the summer, we had a number of meetings with each committee and department heads to provide all the information to us. It was a very collaborative effort going back and forth. As I tell my wife, if you follow the money, you learn an awful lot about how a township like this is run, and it's been incredibly educational to all members of the committee.
Well, we thank you.
Okay, thank you.
If anybody has any questions, come up, feel free to contact any of the committee members.
Mr. Chairman, may I make a comment?
Absolutely.
Just by way of the township's budget calendar, today is your first introduction to the draft preliminary budget. On your agenda for the second meeting in November, staff will be asking the board's consideration, permission to advertise a preliminary budget, at which point the budget will be available for public comment. At your first meeting in December, staff will have fund transfers from the general fund to the capital fund based on the findings of the budget, and tax rates based on the preliminary budget for your consideration. At the second meeting in December, staff will ask that the board consider adopting a final budget for 2024. So there are actions at each of the next 3 meetings, but there is no action item this morning. And while I have the microphone, I'd like to say, extend my appreciation to the members of the Budget Committee and to our new township treasurer, who, having not yet had a 6-month anniversary, was still able to contribute tremendously towards this process. Thank you, Emily.
Thank you.
All right, I see there's no subdivision zoning applications on the agenda. I see there's no ordinances or resolutions for consideration. I also see the next item would be public comment on non-agenda items. Is there public comment on non-agenda items? We have notices. No executive sessions have been held between Friday, October 20th, 2023, and the AM session on November 1st, 2023. We are going to have an executive session after this meeting, which we will publish on the agenda next meeting. A motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.